We have a couple corrections or changes to the agenda. We need to remove item 2, B1 and B3. In item 3, we need to remove A3 and A5. And on the consent agenda, which is item 8, we will be voting on E separately.
D.
D separately.
8D. We have to pull 8D.
We're going to vote on that one separately.
Yeah. Dude, I have a conflict of interest. I need to abstain.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We will now convene a closed session. Session. Report of action taken at closed session. Can I get a motion to approve A1, case number 2324-02-SD?
I'll motion to approve A1.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Can I get a motion to approve A2, case number 2324-03-SD?
Move that we approve 2A2.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Sorry, I was moving on to the next one. All right. We will, case number 2223-02 has been removed from the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve case number 2223-05-SD?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second? I'll second. Roll call?
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. And case number 2223-06 has also been removed from the agenda. I would like to invite the students from UELF up for the flag salute.
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we have the annual organizational meeting, and I will be handing the meeting over to Superintendent Ituri.
All right, thank you, President Wing. This meeting happens once a year in December when we have board nominations for the president. So I'd like to open this up for a nomination for the board president. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Michelle Wing.
Is there any others? Is there a second for Michelle?
I'll second that.
All righty. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right,
President Wing.
here we go again. Election of board clerk. I would like to nominate Trustee Nelson to be our next board clerk. I second. Any other nominations? Eric Nelson. Eric Martin.
Yeah.
Just kidding. You know what I did? I wrote it
You
from
read
here.
it? Okay.
Eric was looking at me very confused.
What-
I nominate Eric to be board clerk.
Okay.
That side of you, yeah. Can I get a second?
I'll
I second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Yes. Yay. Okay, now we do the representative to the Sonoma County Committee on School District Organization. This is, Lev can probably explain it better than I can. It's a committee that only gets used if SCO calls for us to try to reorganize school districts, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So as long as they don't do that, then nothing happens. So I would like to make a motion to nominate Shirley Johnson for this.
I'll second that.
All right. Any other nominations? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Designate representatives to the district committees. Since we just did this a couple months ago, I would like to keep everybody in their same positions unless somebody has an opposition or would like to move. So as a reminder, the 2x2x2 is Trustee Johnson and Trustee Brown. Facilities is Trustee Brown and Trustee Martin. DLAC is Trustee Nelson and Trustee Johnson. LCAP is Trustee Wing and Trustee Nelson. Special Education Committee is Trustee Johnson and Trustee Martin. Wellness Committee is wrapped up into the LCAP Committee. And the Budget Advisory Council is Trustee Wing and Trustee Martin. Can I get a motion to approve the appointments?
I'll move that we approve 4D, 1 through 6.
Great. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Approval of regular board meeting dates for January through December 2024. They were in your board packet. Any questions or discussions about those? All right. Sounds good. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda for January to December 2024?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right. Next, I would like to invite our students and educators from University at La Fiesta Elementary School up. Oh, yay.
Good evening, trustees and our CRPUSD cabinet. I'm excited to have us here. I'm going to open up our slideshow first. Are you ready? Okay. All right, well, welcome. My name is Christina Lundy, and I am the principal of University Elementary School at La Fiesta. And I'd first like to open with our goals for tonight. Our goals for tonight are that we're going to show how our mission connects, how the mission and vision of UALF aligns with the district goals. We're also going to share what the learning looks like at UALF. We plan to highlight the work that UALF has done in the 10 years of being open and provide examples of what intentional, integrated instruction looks like and sounds like with project-based learning. 10 years ago, University Elementary School at La Fiesta served 2 classrooms of students, 1 K classroom and 1 first grade classroom. Those students are now juniors, class of 2025, and sophomores, class of 2026. The journey began with the vision of Katati Rohnert Park families and educators seeking a school for relevant, contextualized learning while addressing academic needs. This began the adventure of creating a project-based learning school. University Elementary School at La Fiesta empowers children to be active, curious, creative, and effective thinkers in a community of learners. So together, we work collaboratively to create an effective, reflective, and joyful, really joyful, learning community. So our school continues to support the goals of our district as noted on the slide here for you. Our mission, today we are serving 266 students in grades TK through 5th grade, high school graduating classes of 2031 to 2037. The school prides itself in having interactive garden experiences for exploring, maker room for tinkering, creating and modeling of the natural ecosystem with the Laguna de Santa Rosa, and ample opportunities for skill building in reading, writing, and good old mathematics through student agency. So through our 3 tenets of constructivism, diversity, and community, students are pulled and woven through the curriculum by a meaningful question to explore an engaging, real-world problem to solve or challenge to design or create. Our project-based learning approach to learning is driven by student inquiries, state standards, and global relevancy. Learnings are enriched by parents being invited to participate by sharing their interests and their jobs, gathering real-world materials, coordinating guest speakers, and providing an authentic audience for our PBL celebrations, wherein students showcase what they learn in the process of their learning. This year, to celebrate our 10 years, we'll be commemorating the members of our school community by recognizing 2 fifth graders and 4 adults, staff, and community in a Founders Day Award during our end-of-year celebrations on a yearly basis, beginning this May. These recipients will be UELF community members who embody the spirit of UELF. Recipients will have their name on a plaque in the office and a book dedicated to them in the library. We will step into our next 10 years, the teen years, as most of us do as teenagers. We think we really know a lot, and yet we still have so much room to grow and learn. So our project-based learning work is based off of the gold standard. We use a teaching and learning rubric to guide our work and how we deliver instruction to students. This reflective work and feedback from students, testing data, community, parent surveys, and team meetings will facilitate how we deepen this practice of PBL. So through this iterative process, our students and staff will grow. But what does learning really look like at UELF? I am thrilled and super honored to have 8 of our 5th graders from our school. These students have been with university since TK and K. And together they will share, what does it look like to be a learner at UELF?
Hello, thank you for having us tonight. We are here to tell you about what it is like to be a student at UELF. We've all been to the school for almost our entire lives. We are very excited to tell you about the wonders of UELF. There are many things to tell you tonight. We have lots in store for you. There are amazing field trips such as the Exploratorium, SSU, the Pumpkin Patch, and many others. We also do performances like the talent show, school plays, and a few others too. We have many projects and showcases for showing our learning. We have the annual car race, the 5th grade versus teachers kickball game, and the 4th grade bike rodeo as some examples of what we do at UELF. I would love to introduce to you these 5th graders who go by the names of Stevie, Mariah, Skyrin, Violet, Isaac, Caden, and Leilani, so they can tell you about what learning looks like at UELF. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road.
All right. Being a learner at the School of UELF is like being in a library of knowledge. Everywhere you go, you learn new things. The teachers always have fun gimmicks to get you to learn. One example of this is a thing called Daily 5. There are 5 options every day, but no matter what you pick, you always learn. Writing a story, learning. Reading with a partner or alone, learning. Blookin', it's a math thing, so we're learning. If it was hard learning, the people here, including the students and staff, are almost always giving out a helping hand. The teachers always keep the learning flowing with teaching brand new things and refreshing all the old things. Even if we aren't exactly learning in a classroom, we're always doing things that are fun and educational. We had an assembly where this one guy brought a bunch of exotic animals, and still, we learned things, like how not all owls hoot, but screech, and how alligators can grow up to about 20 or 30 feet long. Then, there are the projects. We're a project-based learning school, so there's a lot of them. One example of this was in 2021, when my class built models of Native American homes. Even though it was fun, I was still learning. So in conclusion to the segment, not only do we learn oodles upon oodles of knowledge. It's done in a fun way.
At UELF, we are a project-based learning school, which means we do a lot of hands-on work. When we do a PBL project, I am able to enjoy it and learn at the same time. All of the materials we use for our projects and car race are provided by our wonderful PTA, which means Parent-Teacher Association, and the students. An example of this is when the first and second graders had their science and art shows and showed us about animals and other fun things. Last year, the fourth graders used the behavior charts and created stories using videos on how to act in the office, how to act in PE, how to act at recess, how to act in assemblies, and how to act in the maker room. When we learn about animals, space, the Laguna, and the United States, and so much more, it always involves an art project or a presentation. This is how we do hands-on work when we were quote-unquote doing the big stuff. We have more fun learning the ideas with the projects and our presentations.
For me, a great example of project-based learning is the annual car race. In the annual car race, we, the students, choose materials from the enormous selection provided by the school and PTA. With our group of friends, we start to build our idea of a car. There is no success without trial and error. We get to change different materials for the car and do this repeatedly. Maybe one type of wheel can't compute with a body that we're using for a car, so it's a back and forth process until the competition. During the competition, our work is put to the test. Your car gets to compete with the whole school. I am proud to say my team won for 2023. Here's to keeping my championship for 2024.
UELF is different from other schools because of the experiences, which teach us a variety of things. A great example of this is the environmental groups, like Recology, Zun Zun, weekly garden classes, the Osborne Preserve, and Martin and the Green Guitar, that come teach us how to keep the earth clean and how to reuse, reduce, recycle. If not for some of these environmental groups, I wouldn't know that not all plastics can be recycled. Also, our project showcases are a great way to show other grades what you're learning. The hard work, effort, and perseverance that goes into the project is amazing. It's getting to learn something and also getting to teach it. Another thing that is special about our school is book club. Book club is great because it gets kids into books they might not have wanted to read before. Now lots of kids do book club and love it. This is what makes UELF different from other schools.
Being a learner at UELF is great because we are safe, respectful, responsible, and kind. We are responsible when we use our words instead of our bodies. We are also responsible when we use iMessages to say how we feel or what we need. We are kind by sharing and helping people when needed, like when someone is asking for homework help and you are done with your own work. We are safe when we keep our feet on the ground and our bodies to ourselves, also when we tell adults when there's an emergency. We are respectful when we do first time listening with the teachers and the staff, and that's why UELF is great.
Here at UELF, we'll have many questions, and we don't need to stress about it, because questions drive our learning. We begin our activities with questions and get to research what we want to learn more about. We make amazing friends when we get to learn through our questions. The friends help you with anything and everything we need to know about our learning adventures in school. The teachers are amazing because they help you find the answers and make you want to learn more. Learning at UELF is a safe experience because you get to keep being yourself. We are really supported to be ourselves and keep being ourselves when we are learning and with our friends.
What it mainly means to be at UELF and your learning experience is how you get taught and treated by the teachers. All the teachers at UELF are immaculate at teaching and are always ensuring your safety while you are at the school. All the teachers that I've experienced have always found fun and peculiar ways to teach the students, and the students actually have a great time learning with the teachers. They like to make sure that you are comfortable in the environment you are in and doing what you chose. They offer many other options to do if you are not comfortable with what you are given, If you are having a rough time learning or are stressed, they ask your opinion to take a break, maybe read a book and some other stuff. But they always make sure to tell you in the beginning of the year that you know ways to calm down. What I love most about the teachers and staff are how friendly and sweet they are with kids. They are very considerate of the students' learning space and their bubble. They always stay calm for the kids and stay strong no matter how bad the situation is. Whether it's a fire drill or an emergency that occurred, they never show fear in front of the students or are very brave. Other things that may happen is students may feel that a teacher is being unfair or rude, but mainly in reality, they are just trying to help you understand what they are teaching and what's going on. Everything about the teachers is just amazing. How fun they are when they teach you. They are amazing people, and I really have enjoyed being at UELF and learning all the things there is to learn. It truly has been an impeccable experience. Thank you all for listening to what we had to say about UELF.
Can we give these students a big round of applause? They wrote it, they designed it, they each had their own ideas, and they gave up so many of their PEs and lunch. No, we didn't give up lunch. That's important.
We gave up library.
We gave up library to be able to meet together. And it's really through them that you're able to see that if we're able to do this integrated instruction, if we're able to tie in what's important, what's relevant, and still learn how to read, write, and do mathematics, they own it. They walk away with it. And that's what we're so excited about. And so our teachers, our staff, our teams, we're just gonna keep pushing ourselves and asking ourselves, well, what are we expecting students to learn? And how are we gonna know if they're gonna learn it? And what do we know? What do we do if they get it? And what do we do if they don't get it? And we're gonna continue to refine those skills as we do that. That's important to us, and it's what we want for them. While we have gimmicks so that it's fun, we get them in there. So our mission of our school is to establish and sustain an environment that is safe and ensures that every student attains a high level of academic achievement as determined by student surveys, project rubrics, district benchmarks, and those state standard assessments. We commit to delivering a support system to assure that the learning is meaningful and accessible to every single one of our students. These 8 students represent the 266 students at our school. Within these 8 students, there's a kindergartner that is their little mini-me. There is a 2nd grader that could be them as well. They truly are a slice of a pie of our school population, and I'm really proud of them tonight. Student success is supported through a variety of our systems of support with data collection on a regular basis, and this data is used to plan content-rich and relevant instruction targeted to all levels of student learning. So what are our next steps? Because we're in the teenage years, so we're a little rebellious, and we know that we need to continue to strive and get stronger. So through the lens of our project-based learning practices, the next steps for UELF are to deepen our practices in aligning priority standards with our professional learning teams, use our formative and summative assessments to show how all of our students are growing academically, socially, and emotionally, and to work side by side with our district colleagues to implement the best learning environments for all of our students in CRPUSD. We are really grateful that you had us here tonight, and another round of applause for our kids. And Wolfie. Wolfie turned 10 years old. And we're here to address any questions if you have any. And I prepped them. They might be asked questions.
Any questions or discussion?
I'd just like to say congratulations on 10 years. That's awesome. And I'm curious, what's been a couple of the biggest successes and a couple of the biggest challenges?
Adult answer or kid answer?
Either or.
Both. Successes, I would say that when I got to join this team, I'm in my 4th year. So I joined in July of 2020. And I think the success that I saw first thing right away was the commitment from the staff community and the family community to keep this work going as a project-based learning school. So when we were doing distance learning, my staff was really due diligence to how are we getting things in kids' hands. So we did pickup days every 2 weeks. and we made it so that kids had bags of goodies to make sure that every kid got one. We did maker nights during distance learning. So that commitment there where they were all tinkering, honest, I have so many screenshots of our families working on projects at home. I think that really showed me as the newest member of the team how committed the community was. And then that's just been continuing. So that was our success. The challenge, we are still learning the best practices of project-based learning. It's hard. And so it takes a commitment from our staff to keep learning. It takes a commitment from my partnership with the district to continue to support my staff to learn those practices. And I'm a standards-based girl, so it goes hand in hand. And state assessments I see as my friend because that's how I know we can do that creative work. So I'm excited for our teenage years. Do you guys want to add anything?
I'm good.
Great. Any other questions or discussion?
I just have, is it on? You can hear me, right?
I think so, yeah.
There we go. Thanks for the presentation. I enjoyed it. The QR code, I'm very interested in that. Do you have it posted around the campus?
So that was one of our projects from a couple of years ago, actually. And so that QR code is on a poster that, because we just got painted, hasn't been put back up yet. But we're working with Mr. Savage to make sure that the poster does. And the QR code takes you to students doing a podcast about an animal that they researched in the Laguna.
Great.
Yeah, I know.
I have a question, and you might have to get back to me, and it's okay.
No worries.
So in Roanoke Park, for elementary schools, we have families can choose. You know, it's not like I have to live in L section in order to go to UELF. So do you find that a majority of your students are there because they live in, you know, that would normally be their neighborhood school? Or do you have a lot of students that are coming specifically because of the style of teaching? And I don't expect you to know the answer today, but that's just...
It's both.
Okay.
It's both. We definitely have families that move into L section and see the school and go, we want to walk to school.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that they're there. We also have a number of our students in our neighborhood who attend in another district. So our job is to pull them all back in. So that is I feel like that's our partnership with my other 6 elementary schools, is that we want to provide options for every student in our community to be able to find the school that is a fit for them. We're a small school. So we're a small school that means small numbers. We have mixed age classes, and it's not the same every year. So those are the things that are part of a smart school. So we have both. And we have families that come from out of our district to our school as well. So we're a good mix. My office manager is here. I could ask her too.
Wonderful. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much for coming today. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Wolfie, for coming too.
Yay, happy birthday, Wolfie.
Yes, happy birthday.
All right, thank you.
And I feel like we need more pom-poms in our meetings going forward, just so you guys know. I'm enjoying this greatly. So. Wonderful. Right. All right. All right, next we have an overview of early childhood services with preschool. Lovely. I think you're still getting pom-poms down there. There we go.
Yay!
Good evening, everybody. My name is Megan Lesser. I'm the administrator for the Early Childhood Services Program. I'm really grateful to have Rachel Allen, our Director of Special Education here, and Dr. Gia Welsh, who is our amazing school psychologist for our program. You might be asking yourself, what is the Early Childhood Services Program? I didn't know we had one of those. And so that's why I'm here tonight, to hopefully spread a little more awareness about our amazing program. Okay. Click. The objectives, we'd like to give you an overview of the Early Childhood Services program. We'd like to present you with some data regarding the growth of our program, to share some successes and challenges, and to show off some of our amazing children and staff. We tried to get some real live preschoolers here, but it's a little late in the evening for them, so I have some video for you instead. Did I skip? Hold on. Sorry, having a little technical difficulty. Okay, there we go. We are the Cotati Roanoke Park Unified School District Early Childhood Services Sandcats. If you don't know what a sandcat is, they're a very small wild cat, and we thought that was really appropriate for our program since we are the smallest learners in Cotati Roanoke Park. Our staff voted on it, and we had a family member of our lead teacher design our logo, so we're really excited about that. Hopefully next year we'll have a sandcat suit out on stage for everybody. Our program supports the whole child. We partner with families. We recognize each child's unique strengths and needs, and we provide a scaffold of supports to ensure that services are individualized and meaningful, and that all children are included in their communities. We're committed to creating a positive introduction to Cotati Roanoke Park Unified School District, building relationships, and facilitating successful transitions to elementary school. We are often the first Cotati Roanoke Park staff members that a family meets, so it's really important that we provide a warm and welcoming introduction to our school district, and it really can set the tone for a family's experience with our district. So we take that really seriously. If you didn't know, school districts are required to provide special education services from ages 3 to 21. We often think about the start of elementary school at TK or kindergarten, but for students who qualify for individualized education programs, it actually starts at 3 years old. So we just wanted to share a little bit about the research about early childhood intervention. There's a large body of research that shows that it's extremely important and effective. Early childhood intervention programs have been shown to yield benefits in academic achievement, behavior, educational progression and attainment, reduction in delinquency and crime, labor market success, among other domains. So really a child's early experiences can have an impact on their entire lives. And we liked this quote: "The first 5 years have so much to do with how the next 80 turn out." As for an overview, the Early Childhood Services provides special education supports and services to children from the age of 3 to the time they're eligible for TK or kindergarten, which is expanding, as you know, the ages are getting younger. Children are referred to our program from North Bay Regional Center, Early Start. Parents concerned about their child's development might come to us and ask for an evaluation. Pediatricians, community preschools, or child care providers might refer children to us. And once a child is referred, our amazing team of early childhood professionals complete an evaluation to determine eligibility. There's 13 different categories which you could be eligible for special education. We have a lot of children who qualify under the category of speech and language impairment, and then autism also. There's some things that you could qualify for that we just can't determine at such a young age. So those are the main categories. And we have an array of services that we provide to eligible children. That Dr. Welsh will share with us.
Perfect. So we wanted to tell you what we're comprised of and some of the data about our program. Our team has been increasing a lot. We currently have 1 full-time administrator, a full-time school psychologist, plus another psychologist who's working 1 day a week in our program, 3 education specialists, 4 speech and language pathologists, 4 a half-time occupational therapist, almost half-time, 8 paraeducators, and 1 program secretary who her role is way broader than that. She does a lot for our program. And as Megan said, we have an array of services. We have 4 specialized day classrooms, 4 SDC classrooms. That's 2 morning classrooms that are 5 days a week and 2 afternoon classrooms that are 4 days a week. We have 2 inclusive preschool options. So we partner with 2 community preschools, Head Start and 4Cs, and we have 5 spaces reserved in each of those classrooms where we place children who have IEPs, and we hire and assign a paraeducator to be there full-time to support those 5 children. And then we also send in any supplemental services that the child might need, like an education specialist, a speech therapist, OT, any of those individuals. So that's been a really exciting thing. We're working to expand social communication groups. We're acknowledging that some children have not just speech and language needs, but some social emotional needs as well. We support a lot of children through our speech therapy services, and we provide both individual and group therapy for them. And then we also have different supplemental services like occupational therapy, physical therapy, and then services for children who are deaf and hard of hearing or visually impaired. It was really interesting. We pulled our enrollment data from the last 6 years to take a look at where we were and where we are now. And 6 years ago, we were serving 72 children, and we were seeing steady increases. Certainly, it increased to 85 the next year, and then COVID. So as you can imagine, there was a slowdown in referrals. They didn't stop, but definitely we were not seeing that rapid growth over that time. But then when things evened out, you can see there that in the 21-22 school year, we had 85 children. The next year we had 110, and we are seeing a lot of rapid growth currently. Year to date, these numbers were pulled as of the end of November. We had 98 children that we were serving, plus 38 children who were enrolled and in the process of being evaluated, which means that probably by February we'll be serving 136 students, and we average 5 to 6 new referrals every month. So it's very likely that by the end of the school year we'll be maybe above 160 students, which is pretty amazing.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of
Or
course.
I can wait till the end, whatever is easier. Do these students have to live in our CRP USD boundary?
Yes.
Okay. And then is it not like a traditional, I know students can come in mid-year, but is it kind of, they come of age or they get referred to us? It's not a normal like September to June calendar
Correct.
school year.
Yeah, especially for children who are getting early intervention services, birth through the age of 2. The mandate is that we've evaluated them, and if they're eligible, have services in place the day they turn 3. So, and that's regardless if they turn 3 in the middle of the summer or any time. So the services really go year-round in many ways.
And if a student qualifies, we are required by law to offer them services. We can't say, sorry, we're full.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we would
I would want to, I just am trying
Yeah,
to.
100%.
We're never full.
Right.
We feel full sometimes, but we're never full. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the successes and challenges. We've seen growth in our inclusion program, so that's those spaces that we have in Head Start and 4Cs. Up until this current school year, we only were partnering with Head Start. So by including 4Cs, we've been able to double our capacity to serve children in inclusive settings, which has been really exciting. We are implementing a pyramid model approach. So pyramid model is the early childhood version of positive behavior interventions and supports, PBIS. And it's a tiered system of evidence-based practices that are specific to early childhood that we are putting in place to build social emotional skills, which we know are all important, especially in these early childhood years, and prevent challenging behaviors from happening. And we're seeing a lot of really nice success with that, both with our staff and then trickling down to our children. We've been working really hard to establish an identity and presence in our program. I think for a while we felt like the little who's on the speck of dust saying, we're here, we're here. So it's been really nice to work on strengthening our voice so that both the folks in the community know that we exist so that we can reach out to and support those children who need that support. And then here in the district, and we currently have special education administration and school district administration who really underscore the importance of early childhood and are recognizing that. And so that's been a really exciting time as well. And then we also provide ongoing monthly professional development to our staff. So one day every month, we do not have students attend our services, and we have the opportunity to work on doing professional development with our staff. And we cover an array of topics, including teaching through play and how can we weave in sensory strategies to help children with self-regulation, all different kinds of things, alternative communication supports. Challenges, definitely, I think part of it has been a correlation with our rapid growth right now. Just the physical space has been a real challenge. We're now approaching the size of a small elementary school, so we're trying to find the physical space to accommodate these growing numbers of staff and students. So that is definitely a work in progress. And then the other challenge has been figuring out inclusion opportunities. In the school age program, of course, we have general education settings that are available to every single child. Since preschool is not mandatory, we do not necessarily have options for figuring out general education settings for children with special needs. So we're working really hard to figure out how can we build supports or access existing systems to increase our capacity to help our children learn alongside typically developing peers. So that's also something that we've really been working towards. And then we wanted to do a little bit of show and tell here. Megan, I'll let you introduce that.
So we're going to share a little bit of circle time with you. Get out of here.
Hidey ho, hidey hi, howdy do, howdy do. It's all a funny way to say we're glad you're here today. Now give yourself a pat on the back. Reach out and shake your arms Little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we wake them with a merry tune? They're so still, are they ill? No, wake up, bunnies! Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop and stop. Go to sleep, go to sleep. Sleep, 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 sleep. Go to sleep. You're sleeping. Little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we wake them with a merry tune? They're so still, are they ill? No, wake up, bunnies! Hop, little bunnies, hop, 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 little bunnies, hop, 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 little bunnies, hop, 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 little bunnies, hop and stop.
They're so cute. All right, and the last thing we have. Do you have any questions?
Wonderful. Do we have any questions or discussion?
And I know Mike, do you want to share something too?
Yeah, good question.
You have questions?
Yes. Where are the facilities?
Oh, Our offices and speech delivery is at Richard Crane Elementary, and then our preschool classes are across the back field at El Colegio, which we share with the Sonoma County Office of Education. And so we're a bit disjointed at the moment, but we're close enough that I can get across the field in 90 seconds. But yeah, that's one of our challenges, is that space and facilities. Yeah.
It's the building that just opened like in May or June,
Yeah,
right?
we
went
had
to
the ribbon cutting,
the ribbon
yeah,
cutting.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your important work. I saw that you had like maybe one aide per 3 kids. So classroom aides are so important. How are you going to address that? I know we have a shortage in Sonoma County.
Yeah, we actually have, for our classrooms, we have typically up to around 10 children, and then we have 1 education specialist and 2 to 3 paraprofessionals. So there's 3 to 4 adults with 10 children is the usual ratio. We, sometimes it's really hard to find paraeducators, but we have some really dedicated staff who've been there a very long time. And, we often get, right now we have a young lady who is going to school to be a school psychologist, and she's working with us right now. So we have some new staff that come and go that maybe are here just for a little while, and then some longer term staff. But yeah, it's a challenge for sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your program is near and dear to my heart, so I have a few questions if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So the studies are clear that early interventions just reaps dividends over the lifetime, and I'm still getting used to how things are funded. How exactly are you funded, and what's the outlook on funding?
Yes, we're funded in different ways. It is special education, so that is part of the budget. We also have preschool grant funding, and I don't know what the length of that is.
We get some money from the state specific to special education and preschool, but it doesn't cover near the cost. And so the general fund of Cotati-Round Park pays for the service.
Okay. And then I'm just curious, your promotion rate, how many students promote without an IEP?
Oh, how many we would exit prior to? That's a difficult question. What the law says is that we don't want to remove services too rapidly, especially in those early years. So we don't often remove services at the transition from preschool into elementary. Students are reevaluated every 3 years. So if they were evaluated at 3 years old when they entered the program, then the reevaluation might take place at 6 years old, and then we would look and see where they're at. Or if a child was very obviously not needing supports and services anymore, we would talk about that sooner. It's not something we want to take away very quickly, though. And we are really thoughtful about it. Of course, there's criteria for whether they qualify or are eligible or not, but I would say for our students who were just receiving speech and language therapy, those students are more likely to graduate out of that IEP and be not receiving services anymore. For our students who are more impacted and who are in special day classes, that wouldn't be very frequent.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You don't necessarily want to focus on moving them out without.
Yeah, it's
the
early.
IEP.
We like to give them time, yeah.
And then I was just curious, on the eligibility, how severe does the condition have to be?
There's not really actually, do you want to talk about it, Gia?
Sure. We're looking to see if they meet eligibility criteria and under any one of the 13 disability categories. So there can be varying ranges of severity, from children who just have very mild needs but still need specialized support to children who have very significant needs.
Great.
In our classrooms, we tend to place the children with more significant needs. You know, we are trying very hard to make sure it's the least restrictive type of intervention that we can give for them to be successful.
Great. Just one more. The increase in enrollment over the last 6 years, is that due to awareness, or what's it attributed to? In population increasing from people moving here, from COVID?
That's a good question. I think it's a combination of factors. I do think these are, the children turning 3 right now were born in 2020. And I think that there's an impact there. could I say for certain that that's all of it? No. I think it's a combination of factors, including, we have a growing positive reputation in the community, and I think that contributes to it. I think people are more aware. I think there's generally an increase in population, but yeah, I do think that there was, when we look at the development of children and how it was impacted by that time of us all being at home, I think that's significant.
Thank you.
Are these students part of our ADA? Okay.
No, not yet.
Wonderful.
I just wanted to thank our early childhood group for presenting tonight. I think it's such an important part of the services that we offer. As I've mentioned to the board before in our notes, is that we had the opportunity to apply for a preschool grant with our potential partners, North Bay Children's Center, and that would allow us to open up some infant support, some toddler support, and preschool support, which would add more inclusive spots for our students. So we won't know if we get that grant for a few months, but we will be bringing forward a plan with space and location if we are able to acquire this grant. It would cover the cost of all the services, so we're excited about that. It also provides some resources for our facilities, probably not enough, but we will be able to cover our services with that funding, and I think it will complement the work. A couple of the things that our presenter said tonight is that being able to engage those parents early on, I really see that you can build really strong parent engagement and leadership through a preschool model, and also having that opportunity for our special needs students to be in a gen ed classroom and have that opportunity for an inclusion model. So I just wanted to highlight that as well, take this opportunity to do that, and thank our presenters again for their work tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Maite. You've been incredibly supportive, and we really, really appreciate it. So, all right. Any other thoughts or questions?
No, I think we're good.
Thank
Thank you
you
very
for
much for
having
coming
us.
tonight.
Okay.
All righty. Superintendent Ituri.
I know, Rochelle's like, get back up there. Your peace poles are up there. Sorry about that. I'm going to need her technical assistance.
Where did it go?
I'm no help. Is it underneath that? There's another one under there.
Must be way underneath here.
Yeah, there it is. That was a little help. So this is a very short presentation. So we were approached by the Veterans of War group about placing peace poles on our school campuses. They are going around to all Sonoma County school districts and offering the funding through the Rotary. And in addition to the peace pole, there would be a buddy bench. So the peace pole states, "May peace prevail on earth," in 8 different languages. It's really very cool. It's a symbol. It's an offering. Alongside that, we would place a buddy bench, which is just really creating that sense of inclusivity and friendship and kindness, which we want to promote. This is an example. This was my former elementary school. We placed a peace pole there, and there's a buddy bench off to the side. So it's really just providing the space and for kids to connect. It can also be a gathering place for the school community, and it's just to offer an offering of peace and inclusion for our school communities. And the funding would come completely through the Rotary for the bench and the pole. They even factored in the bag of cement to place the pole in. So our maintenance and operations folks would just have to place the poles and the benches on the campuses. So I'm asking for your approval of this evening. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them for you.
How big is it? Like, that looks skinny
It's
and
a
tall.
I'm not really
I
good.
mean,
It's a 2x4 pole, and it's maybe 6 feet. The, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. And then do the school sites get to pick where they put it, or are we gonna kind of?
I think the school sites will be able to choose where, someone had mentioned wanting to put it in their garden. So there are 4 or 5 schools that have already identified that they'd like to have the pole if this was approved tonight.
Any other
Great idea.
questions? All right.
Pardon me? Yes, and the languages, reflective of their school community often.
Oh, so
I think their
it can be
native
like any
languages,
8.
sign language, pardon me?
It can be like any, up to 8 different languages.
Up to 8
like-
different
Oh, great.
languages.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's fantastic, thank you. All right. The next on the agenda would be to get a motion to approve the installation of peace poles and buddy benches.
I move.
Can we get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. We're going to go through reports and communications, and then we will take a break right before the consent agenda. Is that okay with everybody? Good. All right. Student board member reports. Naomi couldn't be here tonight, so we have Caleb here representing Technology High School.
All right. Awesome. All right, there we go. All right, good evening, trustees. My name is Caleb Schiffman. Thank you for having me. I am the Vice President of Technology High School, and I'm going to be sharing the report on behalf of Naomi, who unfortunately couldn't make it this evening. All right, so please bear with me. All right, so this past month, we got the amazing experience for our ASB class to be able to go to John Reed for our reading and outreach field trip. We went to 6 classrooms at John Reed and read and delivered books to around 130 students from grades TK to first graders. I believe this is the 3rd time we've done it, yes. So it's a cool experience that I've been able to be a part of from the beginning. The books were donated by our local Chick-fil-A. We kind of have a little partnership through our ASB where we have their Chick-fil-A Leader Academy, so that's kind of cool. It had 5 stories that we read with the students about gratitude. And our public relations officer, who you know, Naomi, and our ASB teacher, Ms. Wolfman, organized this event and created what we like to call our gratitude bags. So there's some more pictures there. And inside these gratitude bags, it contained the 5 book sets, a sticker pack, and a blank thank you card. We also had personalized handwritten cards that our ASB members wrote to these students to promote just reading from a young age. Obviously, that is very important. It was also something that was really cool for us to be able to do, which we've done before, is for students' home languages who isn't English at the start. We had the privilege of being able to translate it into their own home language, just for comfortability purposes and just to show that connection. And after we read, we had the ability, hey, there's me. We had a card making station where the students got to make just cards for anyone they were grateful for. This was previous to the holiday, just starting that holiday season of giving, and we really appreciate that. It was a truly heartwarming experience for all of us, especially in my group, seeing a student who was sitting on the edge while I was reading, and they weren't really engaged. So I went, hey, Naomi, I'm not sure what's going on. So Naomi kind of sat with him. And when she started speaking Spanish with him, all of a sudden his face lit up. And it was such a cool experience for me to see, because before I was like, is everything okay? I thought something was wrong, but really he just didn't understand as much as the other students, and he was kind of feeling left out. So for Naomi to be able to do that was really an amazing experience. So it was cool to also see that, hey, those cards that we translated is probably going to do us some good. And I hope that this is a tradition that we continue to do for many years to come. All right, so moving on, this week has been our wellness week. So yesterday was Cozy Clothes Day. I definitely appreciated it. Just got out of bed right in my pajamas. We had hot chocolate and apple cider stations for our students. Today was Positive Message Day, so we had a positive message station with a candy attached, like, you got this. In our bathrooms, we had our signs up. Just seeing those can really make a difference. Tomorrow is our Teacher Appreciation and Office Staff Day, so we have our teacher room service. So previously, we gave them a little room servicing. They were like, what do you want? We got you, so we're going to deliver that tomorrow. Thursday is going to be our craft day, so our students can come make ornaments, holiday cards, for whatever they want to give to those families, giving that option. And Friday is our Fun Friday, where we have music and games out at lunch, just something cool right before 2 weeks is our finals, so it's kind of scary. All right, so next week is going to be our Spirit Week. So on Monday, it is our pajama or onesie day. I'm definitely wearing a onesie. Tuesday, that's going to be dressed as your grade day. Freshmen are babies, sophomore toddlers, juniors midlife crisis. And seniors are senior citizens. Okay, that came up too quickly. And then on Wednesday, what not to wear Wednesday? So ugly holiday sweaters or mismatched clothes. Wear those cool socks that you got. Thursday, rhyme without reason, match with a friend, and rhyme two things with correlation. So an example could be Guy Fieri and Virgin Mary. For Friday is our Winter Wonderland. You can wear your holiday attire, represent holiday traditions, or anything you could wear, or just blue and white for our students. And that is also going to be a rally day. All right, so moving on to our last thing, there are some of our senior representatives from ASB. Going from left to right, we have Eileen, Elijah, my brother, and Alex, all the way on the right. And they are hosting a senior winter brunch that's going to be happening on Wednesday, I believe, after finals day, after school. And it's going to be kind of like a senior pancake brunch, just to give that to our students. That's going to be our last senior event before the semester ends. So that's pretty cool. All right, and I'm sure Naomi looks forward to presenting at her next meeting, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in last minute. We appreciate it. All right, for Rancho Cotati High School, we have Samantha.
Good evening, trustees, and thank you for having me here tonight. Campus Life. On November 16th, we had our final blood drive for the semester where we collected 14 life-saving units. We held a spirit activity in the quad on Friday before Thanksgiving break. Our ASB class handed out free hot chocolate to all students who showed their Minga ID. It was much needed to help warm everyone up. Last Friday and Saturday, our ASB class gift wrapped presents, all by donations at the Cotati Plaza, for the tree lighting and shop and stroll. Many different gifts are wrapped, and we're able to collect $100 to put to our school. On November 16th, we wore purple to spread awareness for pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer is not very known but has a very low survival rate, so students dressed up to show their support. We are having a toy drive until December 15th. Students and staff can bring in any new or gently used toys to donate, which goes to kids in need. Tomorrow is the last day in our canned food drive. Many staff members and students have donated. So far, we've collected $1,000 and 194 pounds. The competition of what class will donate the most amount is still ongoing. The winning class will be announced at our rally this Friday, and they'll earn our canned food drive can and bragging rights. Student and staff recognition. Congratulations to our Athlete of the Week, Yaneli Blanco. She showed exceptional skills in soccer. Congratulations to our Talents of the Week, Hunter Cottrell and Clara Garrett. They have showed amazing skills in showcasing their talents at the school. Congratulations to our staff spotlights, Mr. Fife and Ms. Munsky. Upcoming. Our ASB is putting together our Winter Spirit Week and our rally this Friday. Monday was dressed as your #1 artist. Tuesday is dress as teachers and teachers dress as students. Wednesday is ugly sweater and holiday wear. Thursday, throwback Thursday, so dress as an old picture of yourself. And Friday is color by class in different genres. Our rally is called Cougarchella, so it's a music festival, and we'll have different airband performances of each class, which are country, pop, R&B, and 90s rock. And there will also be a special performance from our staff members. Our EdCore Club is writing positive affirmations on sticky notes and hanging them on posters around the school for students to grab during finals week. And on November 15th, Cal Skate is offering free admission to the first 250 students and staff members from Rancho Karate. All entrance and rental fees are paid for, and there will be different games and activities. And this Thursday, we'll have performances from band, and there will be a band concert from jazz and marching band. And thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, trustee report on activities. Trustee Johnson.
Oh, thank you. Last week was a learning week for me. I attended a governance training with the board, and then the next day I was at the Moscone Center for new trustee training. So I feel a little bit smarter.
Fantastic. Trustee Martin.
No report.
Trustee Brown.
Pass.
Trustee Nelson.
Shirley mentioned our effective governance meeting last week, and we have the upcoming LCAP meeting in a couple days. That's it.
Great. Superintendent report. Superintendent Ituri.
All right. I was really honored to spend last Tuesday with the board in our board governance session with Babs Kavanaugh, which was really great for us to be able to have conversations and talk about our governance structure and some possibilities for the future. We also had a California Labor Management Initiative meeting today with our union leadership, a couple of our board members and our district leadership, and it's really about building trust and relationships and working together, and this will be an ongoing initiative for us. Everyone seems fully committed to it, so it's very exciting. It was really, it was a long day, but it was really, really good to be in the room and listen to people and have the opportunity to learn from the past. A couple of things that I'm working on right now. I'm going to take a pause on the site visits for the rest of the month, and I'll be starting those back up in January. I think the list was published last week, where I'll be going to school sites and being able to spend more time in classrooms, which I'm really looking forward to. For the next couple of weeks, I'm working on writing the community school grants, which are, we have a grant writer who's helping us, but we're gonna need to do some of the heavy lifting on this, so I'm gonna be spending time working on that and working on my 100-day summary of all the things that I've learned and being able to present that, hopefully, to all of you in January. I'll be out sending it back out to folks to get confirmation of this is what I heard, did I get it right, what was I missing, and then continuing to work on that. It'll be a living document, but hopefully I'll have that for you in January. So that's the end of my report. Thank you all for the opportunity.
Thank you. We do not have any reports from our unions tonight, so we will move on to item G, receipt of official correspondence. And there is none. So we will take a 10-minute break. We'll be back at 7:22. Call this meeting back to order at 7:22. All right, consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve 8A through C and E through L?
I move that we approve 8A through 8C and 8E through 8L of the consent agenda.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Can I get a motion to approve 8D?
I'll move that we approve 8D.
Can I get a second?
All second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I
Any-
abstain due to a conflict of interest.
Thank you. So,
An
motion,
employee, a relative of mine is on that list
thank you.
to be an employee.
Wonderful. So the motion carries 4-0 with 1 abstention. All right, there's no educational services. Personnel services, item 10A, ratification of Virtual Learning Academy Memorandum of Understanding.
So we're asking for approval. This went through negotiations and was voted on and passed. There was a question about cost, and it is breaking even.
Thank you. Any questions or discussions? All right, so just so the other trustees know, I had asked Superintendent Eturi if the ADA for the Virtual Academy was covering the costs, and that's what her answer back to me right now is yes, it is a break even.
If the ADA, is that what you said?
Yeah, so if the students there covering the cost, or if we're supplementing it. So, great. Can I get a motion to approve the ratification of Virtual Learning Academy MOU?
I move.
Can we get a second?
All second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. 10B, approval of provisional internship permit for counseling enriched education specialist at Lawrence Jones Middle School.
Again, these are special opportunities for us to bring in interns. So we're asking for approval of we need our mental health support, so we're asking for that opportunity.
Great. Any questions or discussion? Can I get a motion to approve the provisional internship permit for counseling enriched education specialist at Lawrence Jones Middle School?
I'll move to approve 10B.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Approval of provisional internship permit for mild moderate education specialist at Monte Vista Elementary School.
And this is another area that is hard to fill, is our education specialist. So we are asking for a intern permit on this one as well.
Great. I have a question actually about the permits. When we do the job posting, do we say in there like we would like a credential, but we would consider you if you're working towards a credential? Great, thanks.
Yes.
Any other question? All right, can I get a motion to approve the provisional internship permit for mild moderate education specialist at Monte Vista Elementary School?
Move that we approve 10C.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
There's no business and operation services, so we move to board services. Mr. Bartolome, approval of first interim report as of October 31st, 2023.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am John Bartolome, the Chief Business Official for the district, and I'm here to present the first interim report for the 2023-24 school year. It's the first report of the year. We're required to do it. We have to prepare and submit 2 interim reports to you each year, and then the board is to certify the district's ability to meet its financial obligations for the remainder of the year, as well as the 2 fiscal years is your job tonight. So, this is the first report since We adopted a budget in June. We've updated the district budget. You see a report every month, and I think that's a very valuable process that we do to keep you apprised as to what's going on as current as possible. But this is one of our first looks at our revenue projection for this year based on what we're seeing in ADA so far, and the most current assumptions for our multi-year projection. The SCO will review this, and then and the district will receive a letter from the Sonoma County Office of Ed noting approval or disapproval. So the next few slides are regurgitated slides, or most of this presentation is, quite honestly. So I won't go over too much of it unless you have any questions. You know, I don't want to bore you with the same information, but we're $33 million from, or $30.8 million away from being basic aid, so that's pretty far. You know, we're receiving about $33 million in property taxes of the $71.6 million in LCFF revenue, so I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. You know, none of the out year assumptions have changed since budget adoption. I want to point to COLAs because there's some news looming out there, and I'll read to you from page 1 of my narrative. But you know, the 8.22% of COLA for this year is solid, and it's going to be paid for by by the state of California. It's the 24-25 and the 25-26 that's in question. If you recall from page 1 of the narrative, during budget development, the district utilized the Department of Finance projected COLA of 3.94% for 24-25. Based on the latest economic indicators, the 24-25 projected COLA is approximately 1%. Or possibly below 1%. Professional organizations have not reassessed the 25-26 projected COLA. It may be negatively impacted as well due to the latest economic indicators. Therefore, you know, I'm going to tell you what the ramifications of that could be. I wanted to stay consistent in how I present information to you, and it's based on what's published as of right now, which is still the 3.94% COLA in 24-25 and 3.29% COLA in 25-26. Nothing has changed as of right now for STRS and PERS rates, which are significant. Estimated ADA for this year was up a little bit. And we're seeing a little bit more enrollment. Our official enrollment for the year, based on the October 10th CBEDS data, is 6,148 students. Our unduplicated pupil count was down a little bit. We're constantly trying to adjust that and trying to increase that number because I think it is a little higher than what we're showing. Any questions on that so far? No. Good.
I'm sorry, really quick. On the unemployment rate?
Yeah.
Am I reading that correctly? 0.5 to 0.05?
That's the amount that that is charged to each. And so for every dollar that we pay in salary, the tax rate for unemployment insurance is 0.05%. It was 0.5, and it was raised. I don't know if you remember, but it was raised in the state of California for no good reason because no one was claiming unemployment. The increase in unemployment did not go up in any of the times since COVID, but it was a COVID reaction, and so they brought it back down to what it had been historically. So yes, it is accurate.
It's a little good news.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew that going into this year, so we already accounted for that. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. So, this is our first opportunity to adjust salaries and benefits to reflect actual projected costs. There's a lot of movement between June and now because, people are actually teaching in seats or in their classrooms, and we know who they are and how much they cost. And we didn't necessarily know that at June. We were making assumptions. And there have been some movement. Lots of people move across the columns of the salary schedule based on PD that they take throughout the year. So we don't know what that is going to be until right around now, and I think we've captured all that. Those are some of the main movement things, and we've had to add positions that you see every report throughout the year, which also adds to our budget, or so carryover and budgets were increased accordingly. Local revenue budgets are adjusted as actual donations are received. We don't assume we're going to get a donation, so we just account for those as we receive them. And the contribution to special ed is always a challenge. So again, we're building a budget based on the most current information available. As I said, we've adjusted for all the step and column adjustments, vacancies, and late hires. We're assuming the current Department of Finance published COLAs for this year and the out years. 4% increase to health and welfare. Our ADAs for the current year and the projected 2 years out are now the current projected ADAs for that year. And we're always adjusting that and looking at that very carefully and making assumptions accordingly. We're still well below the 55% threshold for concentration grant funds. And the cost for potential salary adjustments in the out years are included below the line, and it's what I've been doing to kind of plan for them, plan for everyone. We've got about $77 million in unrestricted general fund revenue, 95 for the combined. One-time revenue accounts for about 3.6 million of the combined or restricted dollars, of the 8.9 million left to spend in one-time dollars. So, and we still have through 2028 to spend some of that money, and we're doing the best we can. This is what it looks like graphically. Obviously, the overwhelming majority, again, I always say this, LCFF revenue, that's how we pay for most everything. We have about $61 million in unrestricted expenditures. 86% of that represents people costs, employee costs. I'm sorry, oh geez, where am I going? Sorry. So when you include NPA and NPS costs, which are, we're sending kids to other schools and or relying on non-public agencies to provide people that are in our classrooms, that increases the employee costs to 81.5% of the total general fund budget. Generally, I mean, if you add up what's on this sheet right now, it's in the 77% range. So that's a lot of money that's going to NPA and NPS to provide for positions we can't fill ourselves and or sending students to other schools. This is what it looks like graphically. I always include this because at budget, we were projecting a little bit of a surplus, 88,000. There have been some adjustments, as I've noted. I note every month. Some of it is lottery funding. We received a little bit more than we expected. Some of that is from the prior year. We have quite a bit of cash on hand right now because of all the one-time money and restricted dollars that actually earn us interest, and interest rates are a little higher than they've been. So I adjusted that number a little bit. And you could see, it's probably a little clearer in your books, but we've had to increase some employee costs to the tune of $500,000 for those various reasons. We did help the budget by looking at the indirect costs that the restricted programs provide to the general fund, because so that was a help. And but we are, this is kind of budget dust, but it's, we've gone from a little bit of a surplus to a little bit of a little bit of deficit spending. So we'll keep an eye on that and let you know keep you apprised of if that changes drastically or not. So this is the first interim general fund summary. Unrestricted, we're deficit spending a little bit, $93,000. On the restricted side, we're technically deficit spending $2 million, but that's money that we received prior, that we hadn't spent yet, so that's why that's like that. We're still committing $1.5 million for the tech infrastructure equipment project that's going to roll out this summer, and we're at about 9% reserve when you consider all sources. So this shows the multi-year projection for the unrestricted general fund in the out years. So again, on paper, right now, based on the COLA that's posted by the Department of Finance, we would have a bit of a surplus, $500,000 next year, and almost $800,000 the year after. If the COLA drops to 1% for 24-25, that is a $2.1 million hit to our budget. So we'll be at, we'll be deficit spending $1.5 million, and then it compounds the next year another $2 million, right? So, like I said, just to be consistent, I'm reporting to you what's posted. Given the information that I have that's posted, we know that we are seeing and we're projecting that we're being told that the COLA is going to be smaller, a lot less than what it is. So we'll keep you apprised of that as well.
And John, there's no date that they have to set COLA. They could set the 24-25 COLA in 27, right?
Yeah, there is I know we talk about this all the time, and it's so hard because I can't even follow it all, but there are, it is based on the last 4 quarters, which would be, the third quarter of this year and the first quarter of next, for 24-25. So when the January governor's budget comes out, he'll have another quarter at least to base his number on, or projection on, but we don't know what the number truly is going to be until second interim March or April. Yeah. I think we're good in cash flow. Like I said, we may not even have any months this year that have a negative balance that we have to borrow from other funds or the county treasury, and we are making some interest off that, which is good. I've shown this to the budget advisory group, and I didn't update that much because there isn't any new information out there, but October revenues are coming in below, even November at this point. you know, the later tax deadline changed a lot of cash flow for the state of California, and, you know, they're talking about I read just recently that there's a $22 billion shortfall from what they were projecting on a cash basis from those tax collections in November. So, you know, I'm not projecting that I'm going to have a lot of good news in January, and that's not funny. U.S. unemployment has held steady. California unemployment increased slightly. You know, U.S. core inflation is down from August. This is a little outdated information because there's nothing posted recent. And the median price of a single-family home is up to $859,800. All of these are not great indicators for where our economy is currently at. So, you know, it's always a concern what our enrollment is and what our ADA is. I mean, and that if anything, what we can improve on is what our ADA is. You know, we're projecting pretty conservative 92.5% to 93% ADA, and historically we've seen more. There's lots of reasons why the ADA is a little lower than it's been, and you know, that is one thing we do have control over as a district to continue to get the word out. You know, we've been trying all year to get the word out on how important it is, and you know, it's really the only thing I can see that can help us, you know, get more funding here. The future impact of, obviously, COLA, I would put before stirs and PERS at this point, just because it is a hot topic and, you know, very costly to our district and many districts for that matter. Future technology, the general cost of doing business, you know, special education costs. I'm all over. I meet with everyone involved on a monthly basis to see where we are there. You know, we keep talking about this inevitable economic downturn, but I think we're getting there, if we're not there already. And you know, obviously, future collective bargaining is a area of financial concern. But as of right now, you know, thankfully we have a robust enough reserve to carry us through if we don't make any, to help us not make any drastic decisions in the near future. And on paper right now, I would recommend that we can meet our financial obligations, and you should certify as positive. Any questions?
Are these numbers based on predicting that the measure will pass?
So, the parcel tax, is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't, officially that doesn't sunset until June of 2025.
Okay.
So, yes.
So
we have some time.
Whether it does or doesn't isn't on these
Right,
budgets.
right.
Okay.
I have a question. Thank you, John. That was very enlightening. A little bit of a bummer, but
Always,
you know,
yeah.
always. So the reserve, you know, we're at 9%. What's the limit on? I know 3% is the limit. That's as low as you can go without falling into.
3 is the requirement.
3.
There's a board, a CRP-USD board recommendation that we keep 4. We keep 4 kind of separate from all of our reserves. We keep it in a different fund even, that's what I'm saying. So we have 4% in Fund 17 and then, you know, another 5% basically in our general fund. Yeah, I don't want to get into, I think I've talked about it in this room, but, you know, as a district, we can keep up to 10% without.
Okay, that was my question.
Without having to commit funds for other things, and that's That's what a lot of districts do that have more than 10%, is that they're committing it for, like us, you know, we have this huge project coming up, this technology project that we've committed funds for that, and I don't know, does that, I'm babbling to you, does that answer your question? Good. Yeah.
Any other questions or? All right. Sounds good. Thank you, John. Thank you to Nikki and Molly as well for
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are
preparing all
involved.
the paperwork and everything. Great. Can I get a motion to approve the first interim report as of October 31st, 2023?
All motion to approve.
I second. Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Initial proposal from Roanoke Park Cotati Educators Association for the successor to the 2021-2024 contract.
So we received RIPSIA's request to bargain on the following items, and we are asking for your approval to move into bargaining with RIPSIA.
Any questions?
And I'm going to look to Jen if there's questions.
Nope.
Question. It's my understanding that unless it's listed as an article, then it's not open to negotiation.
That's correct.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the initial proposal from Roanoke Park Cotati Educators Association for the successor to the 2021-2024 contract?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
For items C through K, these are all first readings of board policies and administrative regulations. Are there any questions or comments on those? All right, here we go. First reading of BP 0410, non-discrimination in district programs and activities. First reading of BP AR and Exhibit 1, 1312.2, complaints concerning instructional materials. First reading of BP and AR 1312.3, uniform complaint procedures. First reading of AR Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2, 1312.4, Williams uniform complaint procedures. First reading of BP 5145.3, non-discrimination and harassment. First reading of BP and AR 6143, courses of study. First reading of BP and AR Exhibit 1, 6161.1, selection and evaluation of instructional materials. First reading of BP 6161.11, supplementary instructional materials. And first reading of BP 6163.1, library media centers. The next item is the second reading of BP at AR 5148, child care and development. Can I get a motion to approve?
I move.
Can I get a second?
Well, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Acceptance of gifts and donations to school and district.
So we received a donation for Monte Vista of filing cabinets and rolling chairs from the Bank of Marin for $7,625. And Han will be receiving a donation of $140 for the Peace Pole from Veterans for Peace, and the total is $7,765 in donations this month.
Great, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the acceptance of gifts and donations to school and district?
All motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Are there any future business or agenda items? No one? All right, then at this moment, I'd like to say happy holidays. I hope everyone has a safe and wonderful holiday. I hope all the teachers and staff have a wonderful break. And we will see you all next year. The meeting's adjourned.